All right, episode 62.
Wow, almost up to our ages.
Yeah, that's right. Another couple of weeks, so
Yeah,
we'll
a
be.
couple of weeks we'll catch up.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow,
Wow.
pretty neat.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to cover tonight again. Got three or four topics we're going to talk about. First one is I really want to cover is this an update on Nancy Guthrie's disappearance.
In case you haven't heard about
Yeah, in case you haven't heard, it's been
it,
on
it's all over the
everything.
place. And
But
there's getting to be a lot of different takes on it,
yeah,
I
so
think.
we'll talk about that. I want to combine it with a discussion of this case, Ellen Greenberg from 2011. Now there's a Hulu show on it, and I guess she was, they called it a suicide, and the parents, and recently the reason I'm bringing this up is as far back as 2011, but now in 2026 they're trying to get the FBI back on it. And I want to explain a little bit about what happened there. That's pretty interesting. Um, we want to talk about Robert Duvall and Jesse Jackson. We lost both this week. We want to talk about the updates on the Winter Olympics and the medals. We'll give you a live. We'll pull it up. What the medals are so far. Japan doing really good. A lot of good things going. U.S. is they're okay.
Yeah. We're in third, I think.
Yeah.
Third for the amount of medals that are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total medals. Yeah.
Total medals.
Gold. We're not looking good. All right. So, but before we do all that, did Trump take a dump? That is. There's a whole bunch of videos out there.
Unbelievable.
And I'm going to play this video while we're talking. And apparently, somebody swears that they heard like a fart noise or something like that. And there was a girl in the background. If you watch this video, you're going to see in a minute. I'm going to zoom in, and she's doing.
Yeah, it's
doing
Bergman, the Interior Secretary, his wife.
To me, it looks like she's itching her nose, but
Right.
who knows? So they said that she reacted to it. And then all of a sudden they rushed all the
Right. Yeah.
media out. Quick, get out, get out, get out. No, I watched a couple of these videos on YouTube, and one supposedly enhanced the one section where like this big fart noise came out. So I guess because they ended it like abruptly and they heard that noise and she's going like this, you know. So some people in the background, like you said, Catherine, Burgum, you're right, appeared to react oddly.
I watched that whole thing
Yeah.
way back when beginning of February, I think it was.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything like that, but they got this. I don't know.
This is going viral. It's going all over the place. It's like so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think part of it is, how everybody was picking on Biden because they were saying he's
Falling asleep
not all there and falling asleep, and now Trump is incontinent.
Right.
I mean, I don't think that's a great. But as we dig into it pretty deeply.
Yeah.
The video itself was authentic. Her doing this and whatever else, but there's no evidence at all to support the claim that Trump soiled himself. Now, as I was looking at this, I saw this other picture meme. He's walking on a golf course and he's got his arm around some guy he's playing golf with, and his pants are all soiled. Now, it's obviously that somebody put that there because
Photoshop.
Honestly, if he soiled his pants, you think he'd be just walking
around,
Greenway, walking around.
Right.
So of course, the rumors are flying around, and we tried to verify this, but there's nothing there. There's no backing to it, and it's just something that people assume. They hear and it was all right. Everybody, get out quick.
Similar rumors have popped up before.
Yeah.
2025, the Kennedy Center honors events and other settings.
Yeah, it said Trump was wearing adult diapers. Diaper Don, they call it.
Don. Alleged smells or inconsistency.
Incontinence.
Yeah. These have roots in satire, speculation, and exaggerated interpretations of unrelated moments.
Yeah, like facial reactions and sounds like that.
But none have been substantiated by reliable sources, witnesses, or medical confirmation. In short, It's a persistent internet rumor mime without factual support from credible reporting.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So it's what do they say in his face? Like when a baby takes a poop, you know.
yeah,
So so enough of that. I just thought it was funny. I wanted to talk about that real quick though.
yeah,
So we lost Robert Duvall,
yeah.
and
I think he was probably one of the best
yeah,
actors of our time.
yeah. I gotta say,
He was 95.
wow. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, 95 years
and he
old.
lived in Virginia, little suburb right outside of Washington D.C. on the Virginia side called Middleburg, and yeah,
He got
he was a Republican.
7 Academy Award nominations.
Yeah, well, nominations, but he
Yeah,
won
he
one
won
Academy
one.
Award for
Tender,
Tender
Tender
Mercies.
Mercies. Yeah, yeah. You know he had he was in To Kill a Mockingbird way
Oh
back
yeah,
when.
yep. He was in Bullet. Played the cab driver in Bullet
Oh, I didn't know
with
that.
Steve
And
McQueen.
of course, The Godfather.
The
Right?
Godfather 1 and 2.
Yeah. Lonesome Dove. A lot of westerns he
Yep,
did.
yep.
Um, there was yeah, and then The Hustle, Pale Blue Eyes. I
Yep.
mean, lots of movies. Now there's
And
two here they didn't mention, which I loved. Was
Apocalypse Now.
well, Apocalypse Now. Oh yeah, that was a big one. I love napalm. The smell of napalm in the
Good
morning.
morning.
Yeah,
Smells like victory.
yeah. It smells like victory. Yeah, yeah. That was
Yeah, he
that
was
an
into
iconic
surfing.
line.
Remember, he was talking to the guy about surfing.
Yeah,
Look at these waves; they break this way. You could go this way. The bombs are going off
yeah.
all over.
Yep. Yeah, he was great in that.
But I think his favorite role, my favorite role that he did,
Oh,
and it's
yours.
just my opinion.
Hmm.
He did a movie back in 2003 with Kevin Costner called Open Range,
Oh yeah.
and
Wow.
I thought his acting in that was just I loved his character in it. It was
Okay.
such a good movie.
He was in a movie called Falling Down with Michael Douglas. I think.
Oh yeah, he played the police officer,
Yeah.
the cop.
And boy, I'll tell you what, that movie. Sometimes I wonder if I'm gonna go there.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah,
The traffic and this and oh. So if you haven't seen Falling Down, that's a good one.
yeah.
And he was also in one that never really got a lot of recognition called The Judge.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
That was an excellent movie. He was an older judge and he was accused of running over a kid by accident or something and his son came out.
Oh, was Robert Downey
Robert
Jr.
Downey Jr.
That I did see that.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I remember that now. Yeah.
So very good. But this guy was just incredible. He really was a great actor, and he's going to be missed. I know. Bill and I, we grew up with some of the best actors out there.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Al Pacinos.
Yeah.
And,
And look who we lost this year. I mean,
Yeah.
we lost him. We
Yeah.
lost Gene Hackman,
yeah.
Rob Reiner,
Rob Reiner.
Diane Keaton.
Yeah.
Lost
Wow.
big people.
Yeah. So they're getting up there in age, and we're seeing these guys go, and
And
there's
we are
nobody
too.
like some of these actors. Not me.
Oh, I am.
No, I drank reverse water the other day.
Right.
I'm now 49.
You're like Benjamin Button. Remember that movie?
Yeah. Right.
Went backwards.
He went backwards to be from old to a baby, right? Yeah, that was an interesting movie. And then Jesse Jackson,
Yeah.
civil rights leader,
Yeah.
two-time
Big time.
presidential candidate. I
Yep.
forgot he ran for county.
That's right. In
president.
'84 and '82, I think, or '83. I'm not sure.
84 and 88.
'88.
Yeah. And
In
he was-
'84, he came in second as a Democratic nominee.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he came pretty close.
He was 84 years old,
Hmm
and he just died this Tuesday the 17th.
Yeah, I think it was 2017 or 16. He got he caught Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, I did read that. It was they had a name for it. Yeah, the Parkinson's disease in 2017, which was later refined to diagnose as PSP, which is I thought I had it written down here. I don't have it down here, but it's a specific Parkinson's disease that's a
Oh.
little worse than Parkinson's, I guess. I don't know. He officially retired and stepped down as leader of Rainbow Push Coalition
Yeah.
in 2023.
Presidential Medal of Freedom. He was awarded the nation's highest civil honor in 2000 by Bill Clinton.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Democrat or not, Democrat, whatever, he He
Oh,
didn't.
he wasn't. He was a
He didn't-
Democrat, but he wasn't a
Right.
far left nut job like
Right.
half of them are out today.
He wasn't stirring a pot
No,
like
he was
everybody
not.
else is
Nope.
doing. And
Nope. In fact, he got along with Reagan very well. Him and Reagan got along well, and
yeah.
so did Bush the father and the son.
Okay. Who's the guy today that we can't stand?
Oh, you're Reverend
Al Sharpton.
Al
Al
Sharp.
Sharpton.
When I worked at the dealership at Acura, there used to be a guy that used to come in, had the same hair, but he was white. And
Oh.
we used to come, oh, here's the White Al. White Al Sharpton coming in.
Right. Yeah. So Al Sharpton's still out there pushing all this stuff, and he's a radical guy, and DEI and all this crap all the time. So Jesse Jackson, not another one that we lost. It's just crazy what's going on. I mean, I know everybody getting old and things happen, but wow. So I wanted to go over this Guthrie case. Now, the news today, the latest news today, was that they got no matches on the DNA they found in the glove.
Not on the back of the Land Rover? What they were checking on the back of the Land Rover and the glove or anything like that?
They found DNA on the glove, but there was no match. Like they ran it through the systems. So unless you're arrested like you were.
Yeah, I was.
That's
Convicted felon.
And
Don't tell ICE.
I broke out of jail. No. So if your DNA is not on file, usually it doesn't come up, right? That's why I don't ever want to send my DNA to those 23andMe, whatever it is.
Oh, that's right.
First of all, I don't want to know if I'm not 100% Italian. I don't want to know, number one. And number two, I don't want my DNA.
Watch your stuff come back.
You're 100% Irish.
Irish and Czechoslovakian.
Yeah, Czechoslovakian. I don't want to know. And if you're Italian like me, you never want your DNA out there. But there's no suspects now, no custody, and I will correct myself. They did clear the family. None of the DNA they found is any family members.
There's still people out there that don't think that's true.
I know.
The
sheriff said that
that's why, as long as this keeps going on, it seems like more and more people are starting to not believe them, believe them, what's going on, this, that, and the other thing. But, hey, did you see the latest, though? I think this is pretty neat. Because she had a pacemaker.
I know where you're going, yeah.
It was hooked up to her phone. Well, when she got kidnapped or whatever, the phone got turned off, disconnected.
Right.
So what happens, just like any Bluetooth thing, when you turn on the Bluetooth or the thing is looking for something to pair up to.
Right.
Now they have a helicopter that flies maybe 50 or 100 feet up with a Bluetooth, some kind of apparatus that can pick up anything that's trying to ping and trying to get a sensor or something like that.
Yeah, the frequency. So
frequency.
So specifically what they had to do was go to the doctor or hospital that put it in, and they get the specific radio frequency of that pacemaker because everyone is different.
Oh, I didn't
So
know.
that when it comes into the
You
hospital...
mean every pacemaker is different.
Right. Every frequency is different, too, because it goes to the hospital through the air. And So they got that frequency, and that's what they're searching for. Just like you said, they're looking for that frequency.
I think
that's crazy, isn't it?
That is really...
Because even, God forbid, if she's not alive, if she's unlived...
Well, right, unlived. But that will still be sending a signal.
Transmitting or something, doing something, yeah.
Well, it hasn't worked because they've been doing it for
I know.
years. Nothing's
so
coming up. Or the TMZ, that guy that...
Yeah.
He keeps getting all these little emails and stuff,
notes.
and I think they're not taking these things seriously.
Well,
there's a guy.
saying they're all
There's a
fake.
guy there that says, "I know who did it.
Yeah,
Give me 1 Bitcoin, and I'll tell you who did it."
Yeah.
And they're all kind of like laughing and kind of carrying on. But maybe this guy, maybe they should be looking at this guy, and he's claiming that he knows they went over the border and he knows who they are.
Yeah, I know. But I guess I don't know how credible that is. And then he said. He kind of backed it down and said, all right, give me half a Bitcoin.
Right.
And then when I tell you and you catch him and it is him, then give me the rest.
Right.
So that's the game he's playing right now.
Or now, I think now the Bitcoin is what, 75,000 or 80,000?
Down to 68.
So now he wants the $100,000.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I mean, but the problem is he says he's got a record. And he's worried that if he gives his name up,
Yep.
that
they're going to get him.
They're going to get him. So...
I don't. There's so many twists in this thing. It is absolutely ridiculous.
I don't think we're ever going to know. I think eventually it's just going to kind of go away. I
But
mean,
what happened to her? What happened to Mom? I mean,
I think they're never going to.
I,
I don't
I,
know.
I think she died early on. My opinion, which I really don't want this to be real, but it's possible she died early on, and that could be why they're not getting legit notes or ransom. Because if you don't have a live person, you can't hold ransom. She's got to be alive for them to pay. So I don't know.
So you think that maybe she, in the first day or two, or 2 or 3 days, she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do with the body?
It was a struggle. Well, that's the thing. Now they got to find a body, and it's terrible. I can't imagine.
And then where do those
Mother
guys go? They figure if they bury the body and just disappear.
Don't know. I don't know. But the sheriff was on a big interview today, and this is where he said that none of the DNA matched Nancy or any other person in her close circle. So that's anybody that was working at the house, the family members, any of that stuff. Now this black glove. Now the next step is what they're saying is they're going to Walmart and letting them look at cameras because all this stuff was bought at Walmart. All the stuff. They think
Even the gloves.
the gloves, the jacket.
I know the backpack.
The backpack. They even think the holster that he had
Oh,
was bought there. So if Walmart's going through their stuff right now to see if they can see somebody buying all that particular, items, and they got cameras all over.
might have bought it 2 or 3 years ago.
I know. That's the thing. How do you
Yeah.
go back and do all that?
It's a terrible situation. It really is.
And
And
then
then the FBI, supposedly,
Right,
right
right.
now, FBI is not getting along with the police, the local police. They're in.
the sheriff's trying to hold on to it, and the FBI wants to get more involved, and and in the meantime, you're playing with somebody's mother.
Yeah.
The life of a mom here. But they described the male as 5'9", 5'10", tall, average build, wearing a black backpack. Okay, there you go. Now we can find him. There's like 4,000 kids out there that we reach. There's absolutely nothing coming out of this, and this is so frustrating. The FBI they raise a reward, I think.
Yeah, to 100,000.
$100,000. Okay. Yeah, for any information, and nothing's coming in. And then you see Savannah, and I feel so bad for her. She's just pleading with these guys, just give her back her mom. Now, and then today, something came out where they thought it was a botched robbery. Now they're not saying kidnapping; it might have been a botched robbery, but the sheriff shot that down right away. So, so this could go on forever.
That's what I think it's gonna go on, and eventually just disappear, and nobody's gonna really. There's gonna mark it up that she's missing and never be found, and they're never gonna be.
I know. So no arrest, no suspects, no nothing. Which reminds me of another case, and this is what I kind of wanted to blend this together. There's a case from 2011, and if you would be so inclined, by the way, could you subscribe us? I appreciate it. That really helps the channel. Ellen Greenberg. There is a Hulu show. It's just 2 episodes about
Death in Apartment 603.
that. Yes,
Now that happened in
That's the title.
Philadelphia, from what I understand.
Philadelphia, right? So this is more of a political case, is what they're saying. But she was 27-year-old first grade teacher living in Philadelphia, like you said, and she was discovered by her fiance,
Who went out for roughly 40 minutes or something like that, 45 minutes.
Yeah, they got video. If you watch the Hulu show, they got video of him leaving the room,
Yeah,
going down the elevator,
yeah.
working out, coming back, and then the 911 call. Oh my God! She's dead.
Well, Okay,
There's
go
a
ahead.
knife in her chest, and blah, 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 blah.
Go ahead.
Plus, they were saying the door was locked from the inside.
Yeah.
It was all kinds of twists and turns
Twist.
here.
Yeah, from what I understand, they found her in the kitchen.
Yep.
She was all the knife was still sticking inside her,
Mm-hmm.
but if they said it was a suicide, that she stabbed herself, but yet there were back in the back
Wounds. Yes. Stab wounds in the back.
stab wounds in the back.
Yeah.
But then he left. She locked the door, and then she gets killed, but then he comes back and the door can't be opened. I mean, it
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense at all. It's like,
right. That's why this is so strange. Because now people say, well, if you slam the door, sometimes those things swing closed,
yeah.
and lock behind him. Did he do that? Did he figure out a way to make it lock when he left to make it look like it was
Well, what
locked?
would be his motive? Was there any motive?
That's where we're getting deep into. Yeah, right. Um, like you said, she had 20 more stab wounds, including wounds to her neck and her back. Now,
Yeah.
when you're killing yourself,
Yeah,
now, honestly, and I don't know a lot about suicide, thank God, but most people slit their wrists and sit in the bathtub, right? And bleed out. You don't stab yourself multiple times. How do you do that? I mean, that's I don't know. And then he said that Goldberg, I guess the guy, he said he had to break down the locked deadbolt.
right.
Well, it wasn't a deadbolt. It was one of those flipper things that you have in hotel
Right.
rooms. They're not real sturdy anyway.
There was no clear signs of forced entry.
Right.
Wow.
Now, just taking that, right, that little piece right there, no forced entry. So if they're going to kill this girl like this, wouldn't there be a forced entry?
Yeah.
Something, kick it in? There was no evidence of an intruder initially, so they started pointing to him. The medical examiner ruled the death a homicide. Now, remember the definition of homicide I told you a couple of weeks ago. It means a human being killed a human being. Doesn't mean he's guilty. It doesn't, it doesn't.
Well, wait. First, they said it was a suicide.
No. First, they
first
said it was a homicide. Yep. And immediately they think he was involved, the boyfriend.
Yeah.
After autopsy findings, then they changed the official ruling to a suicide. A decision authorities had maintained for years that she killed herself. Now, she was having some problems and she wasn't real happy with the relationship, and her girlfriend said she wasn't herself, and all this little stuff. But the medical examiner had ruled it a homicide and then changed it to a suicide. Now, the parents, who are just devastated, of course, think that she was killed. And here's the weird part. When you gather evidence, when there's a murder scene like this or a homicide,
You're not supposed to tamper with evidence.
Right.
And somebody cleaned the apartment.
professionally, clean the apartment. So, and then there was some talk about how blood spatters, and she would have been, her angle that she was sitting up in, it was like almost somebody put her in that kind of position.
Yeah, she was like in the corner of the cabinet.
Yeah,
like,
leaning up. Yeah.
I remember that back in 2011. I do remember that case.
Well,
I didn't
it's
pay
very,
much
very, very
attention.
political. And boy, I'll tell you what, it's scary. I mean, 20 stab wounds, and then this is what they're saying, and then bruises, various staging of healing on her body. So now they're thinking that he was abusing her because she had bruises in various staging of healing. In other words, if he hit her here, and then a week later he hits her again, there's all kinds of bruises all over her body. So the parents are convinced that he did this, but so far he's gotten away with it.
So he's walked free.
He's walked free. Yeah, because here's why, and this is where the political thing's starting to come in. As soon as they rule it a suicide, there is no more investigation going on. None. So the reason I brought this up, along with the Nancy Guthrie story, is they recently, this past month, January I think it was, 2026, they reopened the case, and they're getting the FBI back on it.
But why? I thought they couldn't because it was a suicide.
But if their first thing they have to do is get that changed to a homicide or like no reason. I don't know exactly what it's called. But if they get that changed to either one of those, then they can reopen the investigation. And the parents are still working on this. This is 5 years later.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still going into courthouses and this, and it's just year upon year upon year. And they're trying to clear her daughter's name that
like
she didn't
I asked
kill herself.
before, what would be his reasoning to kill her? Was there he just didn't love her anymore or didn't want to be with her, so he kills her?
I don't know.
Instead of saying, I just don't want to be with you.
Yeah, and just leave.
Good luck and have a nice life.
Bill, there's so much shit going on. Who knows what goes through their mind?
I know.
Maybe he lost it because she burned his toast or something. You just don't know. But there's a lot of crazy people in North. We had just had 2 shootings in the last week.
And
You know,
I'm not. I don't want to sound like a
I know where you're
homophobe
going.
here or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the last four shootings, the one in Memphis, the
right.
one in Minneapolis, I think it was,
Yep.
this one in Canada, and this one in Rhode Island,
Yeah,
all
at the
transgender,
hockey game.
all transgenders.
Yep.
And the last one, the guy was in his 50s,
Yeah, married.
and he killed his wife and one kid.
Yeah, and his sister or something. Yeah, or his mother. I forget. And he was agitated because there is a senator, and I don't know his name or her name, that is a trans, and somebody called him a him, or yeah, said him or sir by accident.
And he went off.
And he went off. He went crazy, and he was nuts about it. And that's what triggered him. And he went and I guess his wife wasn't supporting what he was doing.
No, that's what I heard. The wife wasn't.
So he was
supporting
fed
him
up
at
with
all.
everybody that didn't like what he was
Right.
doing. And but guys, this is our opinion. But I got to tell you, it's got to be. There's got to be a mental illness in there somewhere. Because look, there's a man and a woman. Men can't get pregnant. Nobody wants to say it, but that's the truth. It's biological. I like science, and believe me, it's biological. You can't have a kid, Bill, no matter how hard you try. Now you can simulate having a kid, like Robin Williams said, if you want to pass a bowling ball out your ass, open an umbrella up your ass. So we don't want to make jokes about this stuff, but this is the kind of crap that's going on. And Savannah Guthrie, I wish you all the luck, man. It's just been so long now. It's going on 2 weeks, right? And I hope the parents of this Ellen Greenberg can find something else out and get this one taken care of.
Van speaks out on Eileen Gu. I guess she is Asian, Gu. That's her last name. Decision to compete for China instead of U.S. in the Olympics. So let's talk about the Olympics.
Well, we are. I want to go. I'm getting a latest medal count here because ours might be a little bit behind.
Yeah.
So Norway. Oh yeah, we are behind. Now again, this is as of Tuesday. Norway, 31 medals, 14 gold. Wow.
How about Italy?
Yeah, Italy right now is sitting at 24, so they got another medal in there. 9 gold. So I guess they got a gold today. So that was good. The
And
U.S. only 6 gold, 10 silver. There's no place like second place.
They're 20 medals total.
They're that's funny. Yeah, no, they're up 21 medals total.
21 medals.
And I'll give you the top 10 here. Netherlands, 13 medals. Germany's in there with 20 total. Austria, 17. We got France at 16 medals, 5 gold. Not bad. Sweden with 5 gold, 5 silver, 2 bronze, 12 medals. The Swiss guys. Now, you would think in the Winter Olympics, right? The Swiss Alps, right? Skiing. I think they would do great. They got 5 gold so far, 2 silver, 3 bronze, so for 10 medals. And Japan is 4, 5, and 10 for a total of 19. So Japan's, I was watching a Japanese woman today skate. It's just incredible what they can do.
Oh, I know.
We
had a couple people fall.
Yes.
One girl, she fell.
Yeah.
And then that one skater, the male skater, he was supposed to be like the number one, and he fell.
And he fell. Yeah, my wife was telling me about him. So Norway leads, particularly in gold medals, with host nation Italy in second place overall. The United States runs third, and counts fluctuate every day. So what do we got? And the rest of this week? Is that it?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's over. But I do want to talk about a couple athletes that are outstanding. There's a Norwegian cross-country skier, for one. Johannes Klæbo won 9th career Winter Olympics gold medal. 9 times gold medal. Anchoring the men's 4x7.5 kilometer relay on February 15th.
Wait, who's this now?
This is a Jonathan Klæbo.
Oh, Jonathan. Okay. I thought you were going to talk about the bobsled girl. Isn't there a girl that she won? I thought it was the bobsled or something.
There was Well, there was a lot, but there was
She never got gold. She's gotten
Yeah.
a silver and a bronze,
Okay.
but then she finally got gold. It just happened the other day.
Well, one of them, I saw one. It was a single bobsled, and she missed the sled. Like she ran to jump on it and then missed, and the sled went down without her and didn't go very fast.
Yeah, I guess not.
And then there was a 4-man bobsled too, where 3 of the guys didn't get in the sled. They fell.
They were Americans?
No, I don't know who they were. I don't have all the details on all that, but there's a lot of things going on. A lot of people missing and falling.
Do you remember what happened last year with the Olympics? The big controversy of the opening games, that all those like the gay people, Jaguar. Remember that?
No, actually,
Yeah, it was they showed people in the opening games.
Mm-hmm.
These people were all transgender and gay, and they had the Jaguar up there.
Oh,
The car Jaguar. You remember that?
oh, Jaguar, yeah,
Jaguar.
car.
Yeah, they were
Oh.
talking about it the other day on the radio.
Well, didn't Jag come out with that commercial that we ran
That's what it was
several
back
years
then.
ago? Okay. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, the old commercial. Right, woke. There's that word again. But if you want to see, I think I have her here. Hold on. Which one is it? Oh yeah, here, next page. So the women's 3,000 meter was this. What got me, because do you remember the actress Lola Brigida?
Yeah, Gina Lollobrigida.
Gina Lola Brigida.
She's related to her, isn't she?
I don't know.
Yes.
I didn't,
No.
oh really?
She is. She's
Wow.
yeah. She's related to her.
So Italy's Francesca Lola Brigida set a new OR with 3:54.28 while winning gold,
on
and
her
it was
35th
on her.
birthday.
And she's 35 years old. Now that's pretty old for older for
This
an
was the
athlete.
late Italy's first speed skating gold of the games, and highlighted her comeback story after motherhood.
Wow.
I remember her when she got the gold. She was running around the stadium or whatever, and
Right.
she had her little boy in her arms.
Oh,
Her little
that's so
boy was like
cool.
4 or 5 years old.
Can you imagine your mom?
I
My
know.
mom got a gold.
Yeah.
Where? On the ground? No, she's in the Olympics. Holy crap. Really? Oh, that's funny. And then if you want to see something fast, got a gold, broke a record, and she's pretty good looking. Judda Leardom.
Leardom.
Now they're all over the internet. You know, my wife said, "Well, how did you know about her?" They're all over the internet because she's dating this guy and they're in love and they just got engaged and blah 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 blah. But she is absolutely beautiful.
Let's see.
She
Do you have a picture up here?
they're up as we're talking. Yep. So a Dutch 1-2 finish. Judda topped it with a 1:12.31 seconds for gold, beating Japan's Miho Takaki in bronze.
For Ramadan and Ding.
Yeah, Leardam, a multi-time world champ.
Oh.
Their first Olympic gold.
She's Jake Paul's fiance?
Yeah, Jake
Paul.
Paul. Yeah. So they're all over the internet, and she got some world record and a gold, and she's all happy, and I just feel good for them.
Yeah.
You know, they're pretty good. So that's what's going on in the Olympics so far with the medal count and everything else that's out there. You got anything else you want to touch on real quick? We're going to wrap up here, but
No, I mean, I think we might be going to war with Iran.
yeah, they will not
Another,
budge.
yeah, there's another aircraft carrier battle battalion going in. You know, another aircraft carrier with a bunch of other ships with
Yeah,
it.
and then the Shaw says something that he's
Oh yeah, the Shaw's
sink it in the water.
He's antagonizing Trump. He's making fun of him. This, that, and the other. I think if something's going to happen, they're going to do it after the Olympics. I think Trump's thinking that if he does something during the Olympics, it's not going
Yeah.
to look good.
Yeah.
You know, so I think maybe after the Olympics, something might happen.
Well, you know, I really hope that this guy comes forward and they talk and they do something
Well,
to work this out.
In a way, I think you're wrong. I think the way it should be is they should take this guy out, because even if they make a deal with him, he could still be an asshole to his people.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their people don't want him in anymore. But again, you know, it's like we're going to go in there and take him out now. We took out Maduro, and when does it stop? I mean, I know the guy's not good, and we don't want him to have nukes, but we got to somehow work this out.
Yeah, but the problem is you can't work out with this guy. Even
No,
if
I
you
know.
worked it out, even if he says, "Okay, I'm not going to make a nuke. I'm just going to make a
Energy
nuclear
or
energy thing, and we'll abide by that, and we won't threaten Israel anymore." And that he could still be
Mhm.
an asshole to his people.
Yeah,
They're screaming in the streets
I
there.
know. I know. It's bad.
They want help. They were renaming streets after Trump because Trump made the comment about possibly going in.
Yeah. And he's antagonizing him, saying he's going to sink our ships and all this.
Oh yeah, he's doing all that, and then the Shaw, the one that's here in the United States, or maybe he's in England. I don't know where he's at. They're thinking that he would go in and take over. He's the son of the Shaw that they kicked out way back in the
removed.
Carter days.
Oh, okay.
Back then,
Right.
and they're saying that he's no picnic. I mean, he's nice. He seems like he's talking nice and everything, but a lot of people that know him said he's not going to be that much of a picnic either. He's going to be better, but not as bad as this idiot is in there.
Well, these guys are so radical that they wouldn't think twice about hitting a button. And then what?
Right.
They lob one over Russia, that Russia's going to lob one back, and then and then it hits. I can't even imagine that. Good thing.
Want to play a game?
You want to? Well, remember, I had War Games. I watched it the other day.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I gotta watch it too. I gotta bring it up.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Ali Sheedy.
Yeah.
It was good. But the only good thing about, and there's nothing good about nuclear war, but if I ever survive a nuclear holocaust, the best part is nobody's driving in front of me. Clear roads, baby, all the way wherever I'm going. No slow drivers, no nothing. So,
yeah.
All right, that's a good wrap. I think we covered enough. What do you think?
Yeah.
Sound good?
So. Yep.
All right. For let's see. Who am I? I'm Joe. That's Bill.
I'm Bill.
All right.
We'll see you.
Hey,
so long. Bye-bye.
Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
And hit that bell.
Need more cowbell.
We need more cowbell on our channel. Thank you. Bye.